So I noticed on Twitter today at the time of filming that the MetaQuest account did announce that version 44 software for the MetaQuest 2 is rolling out, so if you don't have it yet, it should be coming to you over time. But I did see the word content creators on it for the update, so of course piqued my interest. So as usual, when I go over updates, I like to go through them bit by bit, very quickly. I'll give a summary of what the update is based off what I'm reading, then some thoughts on it. I like to be constructive. Show some good of it, show some possible improvements of it. That way, if anyone's watching who worked on these, feedback makes everybody better, and I would prefer to make update videos like that. But I haven't seen these yet, so let's just, as YouTubers say, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so we have advanced camera settings. I'm going to assume this is what they mentioned for the content creators. It looks like we have a mix of image stabilization. I have a video up here. You can kind of see it on the side. Of Beat Saber, you have the original, and you have it now with the image stabilization. You can see the field of view does fairly, in my opinion, dramatically reduce, but you also notice it is much stable, but I'll have thoughts of that in just a moment. You can also set the default format and resolution for videos, like recording in landscape 16:9 instead of the 1:1 landscape that we are used to. Looks like you can also increase the frame rate and bit rate for your video recordings as well, so that is nice, although recording at a higher frame rate may impact system performance, and recording at a higher bit rate will take up more storage on your device. So I said it kind of in the last video, I probably say it ad nauseum at times, that virtual reality, it's a feel thing, right? It's about feels, because you can't really articulate the experience. It's all about how someone feels within the experience, but that's why you have some amazing content creators out there, you know who they are, that bridge that gap between, since you aren't experiencing virtual reality, maybe because maybe you don't have it, they provide you feels through editing, through storytelling, and through how they're crafting their videos and their narratives. They're trying to convey a sense of feel so you can maybe understand what virtual reality is like. That way you might go out and try it. The next best thing is better video contents from people actually playing virtual reality and sharing it with you. So I'm all down for advanced recording techniques like this. I want to see what they feel like in practice. Beat Saber is a very stationary game, of course, and you're singularly focused forward. So if you're looking left, right, up, or down in very quick movements, sometimes you can have some weird distortion on the sides. Black bars have happened in the past iterations of this. So I'll be interested to see what they do for this, but I'm all for it. My critique of this, or constructive criticism, would be adding features like this help bridge that gap between someone without VR to getting someone with VR. Again, bridging the feel gap. The issue with it, though, is if you provide these tools, you acknowledge that depending on the settings that you're using can have different performance. If you use SideQuest right now and change the landscape to 16:9 and up the resolution settings, you can do that, and it will work in many games. However, if you then on top of that record, you may be at a disadvantage there and it may not work. It would be nice, since they have the time to test these and use these, to provide maybe some optimal settings in some of the top games. That way, if you bought Beat Saber, hey, if you want it to look like this, these are settings we've tested that look pretty nice. Hey, do you want to play Super Hot? These are as well things we've tested. Blade and Sorcery. By providing these tips to people, it's going to help make better and better content that can be shared out there. And I don't know about you, but unless you're a content creator with aspirations of growing, making money, getting clicks, whatever, trial and error is very difficult like that. And to ask somebody just to do that for a while, to find the optimal settings, recording, going back to the computer, checking the footage, that's a lot. So just some constructive feedback. Let me know what you think of this in the comments. Let us know some base things that you've tested and know work with popular titles, and that could make people use this a little bit more. Moving on, looks like we have some new parental supervision tools, so that's always interesting. So it looks like we're going to be able to block developer mode on supervised teens accounts. That blocks the ability to sideload apps onto the MetaQuest headset, which I think is an interesting thing. So yeah, it's a decent parental tool, but it does look like there's a couple more. I want to go over the other parental tools and then give some constructive feedback on those as well. So it looks like we also have app unlock version 2. So back in version 40, you could basically add locks in a certain unlock pattern. That way you could gatekeep specific games or apps, and it looks like they're making that a little bit easier. So now they're adding the ability to lock multiple apps with a single unlock pattern entry, so you won't need to scroll through your library and lock each game or app individually. In addition, looks like you'll be able to filter and batch lock your games and apps based on rating categories, which this seems to be the most useful to me. If you just didn't want your kid to play mature rated games on the main store, boom, gatekeep them right out. It makes a lot of sense to me, and that's interesting. But again, here's my feedback for this one. First of all, power to this. Like, hey, give parents tools, help them monitor their kids. The problem with virtual reality is, though, it's so niche and so elevated, right? Like, even I'm in virtual reality, and sometimes when something comes out, like modding a certain game, I need to go through tutorials. I need to figure out what I'm doing, right? It's not common sense. Virtual reality is all new, and we're all figuring this out together. To ask a parent who can't see what's going on inside of the headset, you know, the kid's got the headset on, parent can't tell what's going on, to assume that they're going to have the knowledge to even know what to gatekeep away from their child, that's pretty difficult. And I know a lot of people are going to say, hey, parents got to figure it out. And you're absolutely right. I'm a parent myself, and it's on me, and it's my responsibility to handle my child, right? But if it's really important and you're developing these tools to help, my constructive feedback would be probably one of the best tools you could give me. It's just easier casting through the phone app. So if my child is playing VR, all I have to do is pull up the phone and I can see exactly what he sees at any point in time, or he or she sees, because it's a lot harder for me to know what to block in advance because I have to research, keep up with all this. It's a lot easier for me to pull up my phone and look and go, yeah, homie, that hub site is not for you. You should not be on that, if you catch my drifts. And I can see it and go, bye. Like, it's just a better tool. Interested to see how this develops. I'm all for parental tools, but it does look like that is kind of it for the update. So, interesting update. I'm very excited to get it. I do not have it yet, so as soon as I get it, I will start using the tools. And if you'd like a video on the recording tools that they're giving, if they work, what the pros, what the cons are, let me know. I'll make that. Cool update. See you next time, Space Cowboys. Cheers.